Hi, I'm Maximilian Alvarez. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Real News Network and host of the podcast Working People, and this is the Art of Class War on Breaking Points. Esteban Chavez Jr., aka Lil Stevie, turned 24 on June 24th of this year. He was young. He worked hard. He was a die-hard Dodgers fan, and his family, who looked like they could be part of my family, loved him dearly. One day after his birthday, on June 25th, in Pasadena, California, on a day when temperatures reached into the high 90s, Esteban died alone. His body cooking inside a metal hotbox on wheels with no air conditioning. Esteban was a UPS driver and package deliverer. He died on the job. Esteban's family are still waiting for the official report on his cause of death, but they, along with Esteban's Teamster union siblings and fellow UPS workers, have clearly pointed the finger at the unbearable heat, the grueling workloads, and the lack of safety provisions for drivers working in that heat. Because the tragic loss of this young man's life was not some freak accident. The US and most of the world have been pummeled by record-breaking heat waves, as climate catastrophe has us all watching life-sustaining waterways in Europe and China and the American Southwest literally drying up in real time. And UPS workers and all letter carriers and package deliverers around the US have continued raising the alarm about their dangerous working conditions and the hazards the heat inside and outside of their trucks poses to them, to others on the road, and to our economy, which simply cannot function without them and the vital work that they do. After Lil Stevie's death in June, I began working on putting together a panel discussion of fellow UPS drivers to address this very issue, which we actually just published this week on my podcast, Working People. And I was going to feature clips from that panel in a larger segment this week, focusing on the horrible heat conditions that workers across America are facing in the transportation and logistics industry, in the farming industry, in construction, and elsewhere. However, as you guys know, earlier this week on Breaking Points, the great Krystal Ball published an excellent and spot-on breakdown of the heating crisis that UPS workers specifically are dealing with right now. And I've got to tell you, having spent years toiling in obscurity interviewing workers about their lives, jobs, dreams, and struggles, there are hardly any media organizations where I would ever have to worry about a story like this being covered by me and a colleague at the same time. I think it's really a testament to what Breaking Points and Krystal are doing that I now have the opportunity to build on and complement her crucial report with this segment. So here's what we're going to do. First things first, if you haven't already, go watch Krystal's segment because it provides essential context for the clips that you're about to hear. Secondly, since we just released my conversation with 3 UPS workers on Working People, I'm going to spend the rest of this segment playing some clips from that episode. And lastly, I'm going to be back to record part 2 of this segment, where we'll talk in more depth about heat as a workplace hazard, the workers it's affecting in other industries, how it's affecting them, and what can be done about it. So for now, for all of us who depend on the people delivering stuff to our doors every day, if you want to know what they're going through right now, listen to UPS drivers and Teamsters Gabriella, Zach, and Steve. Here's Gabriella from the Southwest.
People need to understand that UPS, especially package delivery, is a different job than like any job that you've probably ever done. I talked to some of my friends and, they can stop working and look at their phone for like 5 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, even like 1 minute. At UPS in package delivery, you cannot stop for longer. You really can't stop, period. But no worker, no delivery driver is ever going to stop for longer than like 1 minute, because we have over 200 sensors inside the engine of our truck that tracks us. We have we're starting to get cameras inside the cab of our trucks that track us. Management. Sorry, I'm talking too fast because I'm angry. Management is sitting in their AC'd offices, watching every single thing that you do. You're trained in the 340 methods, which is 340 different things to describe your job, exactly how you're supposed to do it. I mean, if we were in person, I could show you, we could all show you like exactly the methods for like how to pick up a box, how to walk up to the house, how to get in your truck, how to pull away from a curb. It's extreme, like it's a very high stress job. And there are so many rules. And if you start to, care about your safety, and like they'll do like liability, right? Like they'll act like they care about your safety. They'll tell you to drink water. They'll tell you all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like the way that this job functions does not work for human beings. Working in 107-degree heat does not work for human beings. Working in a truck that does not have AC or ventilation in the back, where it gets to over 130 degrees, doesn't work for human beings. And not being able to stop. I mean, I know they will say like, you can stop if you're really hot, like take a break, but like, that the next day that they're going to harass you and ask you, why did you stop? Blah, blah, blah. And you say like, oh, I was feeling really hot. And, like you legally have the right to stop working in unsafe working conditions. So if you need to take a break from the heat, then you're allowed to do that. But then they're going to try to push you to like clock out for your lunch or like clock out for your break. So like, that's what it's like working for UPS. And it's insane. Sometimes people go out with, about 300 stops. It's not uncommon to have that high amount of stops. My route would go out with 200. After the pandemic, they really slammed my route with even more stops than I could handle. And then, that would have like 200 stops. That's not 200 packages total. It's like about 260 packages because some houses have multiple packages. And when you look inside the truck, if you ever have the great pleasure to look inside of a UPS truck in the morning, it is packed front to back.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
There is no way to walk through it. It is packed all the way to the ceiling. It's bad.
It's real bad.
And then, so when you have that many packages inside of your truck, naturally you're not going to be able to find them immediately. So you're actually going to spend a lot of time in the back of the truck. When it is 130 degrees in the back of the truck, there's no airflow. You're back there, you're trying there would be times where I was trying very hard to find the package. I would be back there for maybe 45 seconds. And I had to tell myself, like, I cannot be back here because if I pass out in the back of this truck, nobody's going to find me. Nobody's going to come up to me. No one's going to look inside my package car to find out if I'm okay. Like it's probably going to take a few hours for management to even figure out if anything went wrong. My best hope would be that somebody wanted to rob the package car and came in and saw that I was back there, like they just decided to walk in. It's really dangerous. So there's that. My best friend actually at work, he was trying to pass the probation period at UPS. And just the standard that they had him in, or the standards that they have them at to get past what we call packet, the probation period for new drivers, it's just ridiculous, especially in the summer heat. And he actually ended up throwing up outside of a hospital. And I believe his wife was outside the hospital with him. He was on the job and he was feeling so sick. Like there was something very, very wrong. And management came and met him outside the hospital, outside of the ER. And he was like throwing up, and they told him, please, they're like, don't go in the ER, don't go in the ER. Like, we'll take you to Concentra, the work doctor. I've been to that work doctor. We all have stories about the work doctor. It's a complete bullshit doctor that does not help you. His wife like laid down the law, and so did he. And he was like, no, we're going to go in this hospital. We think that he needs to go in this hospital. They went in there. He was suffering from kidney failure. And he was hospitalized overnight.
And here's Zach, a driver and union shop steward from Oklahoma, giving his perspective on working in the heat, on what you and others can do to help workers right now, and on the massive contract fight that's coming next year between UPS and the Teamsters.
We've got to do something. We've got to do something. all over this country because there is a combination of the heat going up and the humidity going up. It's people are getting heat cramps, they're getting heat exhaustion, they're getting heat stroke, and they're dying out there. And we're going to see more and more of it as the climate catastrophe gets worse. It's already happening. There are practical things that the company can do to invest in their workers, to invest in the infrastructure. They can put air conditioning in their buildings. They can put roof-mounted air conditioning or exhaust vents in the back of the package cars to draw that humid, hot air out. They're on RVs, like they exist. People have a need for this stuff already, and there are solutions for it already. And the money is already there. So do we invest in stock buybacks? Or do we invest in the core thing that makes our company profitable? The company has a decision to make. Carol Tomey and the people who are on the board, they have a decision to make. And our customers, when they have a choice of who is shipping their stuff, they have a decision to make too. And I want them to make that decision with all of the information. And so that's why this podcast is really important, because they may not have all the information. That's the assumption I'm going to make. I'm going to tell you it's hot and people are dying, and you can do something about it. So there's the information. Please do something about it. Please. We need you to. Like we're in your neighborhoods, we're in your communities, we're delivering to your schools, we're delivering to your pharmacies. We bring you your food, we bring you your medicine, we bring you your wine so you can have brunch. I love brunch. You know, there's nothing wrong with brunch. So, like, if you were getting packages that are too hot to touch, think about it. That has been in the back of a package car for maybe 10 hours. So have I. So has Steve. So has Gabriella. And, you know, there are 330,000 Teamsters at UPS. We're sick of it. We're done with this stuff. It's not okay. We're over it. And so we're looking for victory in 2023. Nothing works without your workers. None of this works. None of your stuff gets delivered. None of this happens without the workers. We do the work. And so you can choose to invest in stock buybacks, or you can choose to invest in the infrastructure that brings all of this money, that really moves our economy forward. I think that Teamsters drive this economy through our trucking, through our rail, through our ports. Our folks work really hard at all this stuff. If you want to take care of your workers who are out, what our customers can do, like Gabriella said, is provide us water. You know, give us water. I've got a cooler out on my front porch right now with water and snacks and electrolytes. That stuff's important, but it is not enough. And so that's why, if you are a customer, if you rely on these services to bring you your stuff, please reach out. Please send an email. Please let the company know how important it is that they take care of the workers who deliver all your stuff. Let them know. And then let the Teamsters know. You know, reach out to our unions, to our international, to Sean O'Brien, to Fred Zuckerman, to the guys on our executive board. Reach out to your local and ask what you can do to help out, because your local, they have stuff. There are places that you can plug in right now to make a difference in your community. So reach out to your local, and if they don't seem to know what's going on yet, you do, because you listen to this podcast. So make a plan and suggest it. See what you can do to help out, because this is something that affects every single person in this country. And because we're a global system, because we're a global economy, it really affects everybody. And because we're affected all by the current climate catastrophe, it really does affect all of us. So we have the largest private sector contract in the entire country. This company and this union have the opportunity to set the path going forward. Will they take it? I really hope they do.
You think this was a hot labor summer? Just wait until 2023. Workers like Zach and Gabriella and Steve and their union siblings aren't messing around. As new Teamsters president Sean O'Brien recently put it to a crowd at a workers' rally in Boston.
And the message that I got today, for all these scumbag CEOs, for all these corruptible politicians and these white-collar crime syndicates, you fuck with us, we fuck with you. It's a full contest war. It's a full contest war.
Thank you for watching this segment with Breaking Points, and be sure to subscribe to my news outlet, The Real News, with links in the description. See you soon for the next edition of The Art of Class War. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Solidarity forever.
Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.